What are they afraid of? Like, why isn't it being corrected more drastically?
You know, it's a tough question, and I can't say for the Asian countries, but I would say for like the West, for example, as the game is progressively dying.
Hey, welcome to the Cool Club.
We have a lot of people that have probably either stepped into League of Legends for the first time in the last few years, or people that have left League of Legends for the first time in the last few years. What do you remember being a season one player and kind of seeing how in-game chat toxicity, content creators toxicity, and just kind of how it all became to where we're seeing it now?
So it's it's really hard to quantify something like that. I think I've thought about this kind of stuff hundreds of times, and I think compared to season one, for example, there's a lot. How about this? As the game gets older and older, more competitive, more champions are released. The average the average player base skill increases. There is no barrier for entry. There's no tutorial that works. If you try to play as a new player, you get crushed, so no new people don't come in.
Mm-hmm.
As the game gets sweatier and sweatier, it naturally becomes more and more toxic because the people as a whole that are the type of people that will play League of Legends are more and more, I would say, like miserable. And that's like obviously an overgeneralization, but they'll be more unhappy or like just more unhinged. And the problem with that is, as you see as a regular player, like a happy normal player, every game your teammates are unhinged. They're being an asshole, I guess is a good way of putting it. It's like, well, why don't I do this? Because everyone else is. Everyone else is letting out their frustrations, and like being like flaming. And the like obviously like I don't know about you. Did you play Call of Duty when you were
I did.
younger?
I did. Yeah.
So like so we know what like being toxic and like being an asshole is, and like I don't care if like someone flames as long as they don't like give up or stop trying in a rank game. But the problem is when you got like Riot Games giving the summoner's code about like you must not do this wrong thing, you must not flame, you must blow your teammates in the bathroom, and then like they don't uphold any of the rules. The face of the game is a streamer who like literally runs it down or trolls every single game.
Right.
It becomes a very toxic environment, and I think throughout the years, less sane, happy players will play. Like bigger streamers will be turned off to it, and it kind of leaves this game to become a cesspool throughout the years. And Riot Games had an opportunity to kind of stop it, but they just never did. And at this point, it's kind of turned into a all-out war zone of cave trolls.
So, what do you like? And a lot of people will say, from the standpoint, if a game wants to be more marketable or they don't want to lose a player base, they might be afraid of really digging in and correcting the underlying issues of toxicity. But also, the threat to that is losing viewership, losing a player base. It's been the most popular game in the world for years now. So, I guess, what do you think is really at the bare bones of why? Is it really that difficult to identify AFKers, enters, or why do you think that they are not taking more drastic action that we think they should have, probably for the last couple of years now?
So, so the first thing I would kind of like mention is it's the biggest game in the world, but that's because China, it's literally the biggest sport in China. They don't have like physical sports as far as I can tell. I might be an ignorant American on that one. I'm sure they do have
America.
sports, but
America.
yeah, America. I'm sure, but like like that's their version of like American football. It seems like same with Korea. It's like literally like their biggest sport. I could be wrong. I'm just a stupid American. I'm eating McDonald's right now. But anyways, so I guess. Oh, actually, could you reiterate the question?
So why do you think, what's keeping them from really fixing the toxicity? Because it cannot be
Right.
losing player base. It's got to be something else. Is it a technical issue?
Right.
Is it
Uh,
just what are they afraid of? Like, why isn't it being corrected more drastically?
It's a tough question, and I can't say for the Asian countries, but I would say for like the West, for example, the game is progressively dying. Like if you were to pull it up on Google Trends, it's every year it dies and dies and dies. Arcane came out, gave it a nice boost.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the reason why it's getting worse and they're not combating toxicity
Mm-hmm.
is, and I know this sounds like kind of like a baby rage answer, but I just think Riot Games in general is very poorly ran as a company. In the League of Legends department, I don't think that they have put in any real effort. And I think, like, I went to their campus in California, and they have like what 10,000 employees. It really feels like it's ran by like 200 people. So I would just imagine it's just a very poorly ran company.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think they're just not really proactive. They're kind of just all collecting a paycheck off of this giant cash cow.
Yeah, and I mean, is the answer bringing back the tribunal? Is the answer more technical code to identify inters or AFKs? Like, what do you think about the tribunal specifically? Do you think that was helpful or hurtful, and why?
So it was both. I think back then the game was less toxic, but it's tough to say without like the all the actual analytics from like Riot Games to say if it was beneficial or not. I think they removed it because it was net negative.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, I think the reason why this game has become so toxic and what they would need to do to fix it, and I'm sure I'm going to get flamed on Twitter or something about this, but and it's not even one specific streamer, so I'm not even going to name a name, but most of the big streamers, not most, a lot of the big streamers, and the biggest one is just non-stop trolling, flaming, just such a like baby raging like an actual child, and that is not being responded with. Don't do that from Riot. Riot is actually like promoting it in a sense. They're completely okay with it at bare minimum, and then you have all of these kids that will like grow up with League, being addicted to it. They start streaming. They see that this one streamer is just crying every single game, is completely toxic, is just a giant asshole in every single game, and then they mimic it. So you'll have a bunch of clones of this one streamer, and it's just, and with that, it kind of just spreads and spreads and spreads. And I think the thing with Riot Games is they don't want to take action against any of these streamers because they think that they need these streamers.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, they just need more tools for content creators to grow and thrive so that big content creators like, Dream and Mr. Beast can actually make good videos, because right now there's just no tools. No one wants to make a real high quality League of Legends video because there's just not really much to make it on. It's the same game every year, and like no customization. So yeah, I think it kind of, it's a lot of mostly Riot Games not taking action, but the community from the top, from the creators, is just trickling down like big turdy farts.
And the big turdy farts, indeed. I mean, that's the nice way of putting it, but I'm definitely using that in my next League of Legends game in all chat, bro. Stop being big turdy farts. Hashtag Professor Akali told me to say that. They're going to be like, what are you talking about? No, but the big thing that I have a problem with, and I guess a lot of people probably within the base has a problem with this, is it seems they're just trying to put a band-aid on a wound that needs stitches, right? Like, we're seeing the changes to the post-game lobby, how they'll like kind of hide the after-game chat unless you like type or like unmute everybody.
Yeah.
They'll see like how like it's they're trying to auto ban people for bad phrases so they can't talk within the game. Of course, there's always the you can just mute all everybody, but I mean, at what point and what do you think, like, how much needs to be said, or what needs to be done? Does there need to be a petition signed to where there's actually something done at the core base, or what do you think about these half measures that they're trying to implement that don't work?
Dude, I don't want to sound like a doomer, but I am just so, I could not have a lower opinion of Riot Games, and I genuinely mean that when it comes to League of Legends, in all departments besides the skin department. My honest to God, not just saying it opinion is that it's just a giant group of lazy people. Not actually, no, that's not true. I think that the leadership is horrible, and they're not really being held accountable and doing anything creative, fixing any real issues, sitting down and having a lengthy conversation. Or if they are, they're just very inefficient at it. And I really think that whoever's at the top, kind of like leading everyone, is doing a horrible job and just needs to be replaced because they have these half-ass promises. They lie a lot, and it's been confirmed. Like they say they can't implement voice chat into League of Legends, and then they do, and then like the mobile version has it. There's this, you know what practice tool is by chance?
Yes, I use it quite a bit so I can hit my ultimates on new champions.
Right. So they said that it wouldn't be possible in a dev blog to make it in a 5v5 environment. They said it's not possible to do. Whereas then a year later, I had this tool made where it would break the client, and then we were able to just make a 5 versus 5 practice tool game. Not to mention, actually, I can't. I've seen stuff at Riot that is much more advanced than that. So they're consistently lying, and they just don't know what they're. It's just a big shame. I don't know if it's a California thing, or they're just all too busy being on the beach, not doing anything. I don't really know what the hell they're doing, but it's pretty pathetic in every way.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll be uploading every week, and everything is live streamed from my Twitch channel. Check the information down below in the description. Stay cool.